Hello and welcome back to our study of Peninei Halacha, the teachings of Rav Eliezer Melamed Shlit. Well, here we are back at it. I hope everyone had an enjoyable Chag HaPesach, and hopefully the halachas that we learned together were helpful in enhancing your Chag. And here we are already after Rosh Chodesh, a very important week for the Jewish people, Yom HaZikaron being observed tomorrow, followed, of course, by Yom HaAtzmaut on Wednesday. Happy 75th birthday to our beloved state of Israel. So I would like to begin a new series, and from Peninei Halacha, I decided we're going to pick from Hilchot Tzedakah, the laws of charity. I would like to dedicate our learning this week, L'Refuah Shalema, for a quick healing for our good friend and loyal and dedicated listener, Binyamin Ben Sila. Please keep Binyamin Ben Sila in your tefillos, having a little procedure this week, and we look forward to seeing Binyamin Ben Sila back on his feet again very soon. So here we go, Hilchot Tzedakah. And the first is Mitzvahs HaTzedakah. Mitzvah l'aseh tzedakah l'chol Yehudi na'itzrich la. There is a mitzvah to give tzedakah, to give charity to any Jew that requires it. Shenehemar, and we quote from the Pesukim in Parshas Re'eh, which we read over Yom Tov. Well, actually, we didn't because it was not Shabbos. It was been Aser to Aser, so we read Kol HaBachor, but would it have been Shabbos, we would read this part, but it's in Parshas Re'eh. Ki yevacha evyon me'achad achecha be'achad she'erecha be'artzecha asher Hashem Elokecha nosei lach, lo sa'ametzes levavecha v'lo sikpotzes yadecha me'achicha ha'evyon. If there is someone who's destitute from one of your brethren in your land that Hashem gives you, you can't hold back. Ki pasuach tiftach es yadecha, you have to open your hands, v'havei tavitenu de machzero she'echzar lo, and you have to give him what he is missing. So when you look carefully at the Pesukim and you realize that anyone who is able to give tzedakah and does not give, but so aside from abrogating a positive commandment by not performing it, over Gamal Isser there's also a negative commandment, because it says you cannot close your hand, you cannot close your heart to a person who is in need. So if you can give tzedakah and you don't, you are violating not only a positive commandment, but a negative commandment as well. Mitzvah tzedakah, himena mitzvah hagadola shebetorah. The mitzvah of tzedakah is one of the greatest commandments in the Torah. And Chazal tell us that tzedakah is tantamount to the other mitzvahs in the Torah, or it corresponds or equal to all the mitzvahs in the Torah. Gemara in Bava Basra. V'hanosein tzedakah mistabek midaser shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu shemechayeh u'mefarnes es biruav. And a person who gives tzedakah is actually emulating God in metatzio dei, because Hashem is the one who gives life and supports and sustains His creatures. V'kiven she'tzedakah mosifa chaim la'olam, and since tzedakah adds and increases life in this world, l'chein hi matzila min amisa, it saves you from death. Shenemar u'tzedakah tatzil mimaves. Pasuk in Mishlei says that tzedakah will save you from death. Mitzvah tzedakah eina reshus elachova. The mitzvah of tzedakah is not optional, but rather it's an obligation. Shator matila al kol yachid v'alachever b'klalusa. That the Torah places upon every single individual and every community as a whole. V'inyana la'azor v'litmoch b'cholim u'zakenim, and what's involved is you have to help and support people who are ill, people who are elderly, yisamim v'almanos, orphans, widows, she'enim yicholim l'kayim es atzmam, those who cannot support themselves. Umi shemishtamet mekim chovas hatzedakah, and a person who removes himself from the fulfillment of giving tzedakah, nechshav kilu oved avodah zara. We consider it as if a person has worshipped idols. Very strong words in the Gemara in Bava Basra. Ki mashlimi mechasrano sheish ba'olam. Because he's actually filling in whatever is missing in the world. You're filling that in like the people who do with Avodah Zarah, because they don't believe in improving the world, but rather will take away. The Mishnah and Gemara in Sanhedrin, that if a person sustains, we usually say saves, but if a person sustains even one soul in the Jewish people, we consider it as if he has sustained the entire world. U'misayim lesovlim lemesakenim, on misaknim es ha'olam mekarvim es ha'geula. And by way of the fact that we help those who are in a difficult situation, and we help those who are suffering, and those who have challenges, this is how we repair the world. This is how we bring about the geula, the redemption. K'fi she'amru chachamim, gedola tzedakah shemekareves es ha'geula. Chazal tell us that tzedakah is so great because it brings about redemption. Shne'emar, the pasuk in Yeshayahu says, "Ko'amar Hashem shemru mishpat v'asu tzedakah ki kravo Yeshua silavo v'tzidka sili higalos." This is the pasuk that we read in the Haftorah on every fast day. But a person has to safeguard justice and do tzedakah because kravo Yeshua silavo, for God's salvation, will be close by. Gemara in Bava Basra. And also the way about which we do tzedakah is to help and to sustain our brethren in an honorable fashion. Therefore, the greatest level of tzedakah we have is to help someone who's in need, but to help someone get back on his or her feet. Give someone the ability to sustain and maintain himself, so he will no longer have to ask for tzedakah. Shne'emar, the pasuk in Vayikra says that you have to help someone up and strengthen him. L'mashal, ha'ozer la'ani limtzo avodah mesuderet, o mesayil l'lmod miktzor sheyuchal achar kach lisparnes ha'idor b'chavod, mekayim es mitzvot tzedakah ba'ofen ha'me'uleh b'yoser. So if a person helps a poor person, someone who's in need, you help them find a job, or you help them learn a trade or a subject which then they could sustain themselves using that skill, then this is the greatest level of tzedakah, because this is the best way to take someone out of ma'agal ha'oni. He says the circle and the vicious cycle of poverty. You help someone remove himself. That's the greatest level. So, for instance, our recent men's club tzedakah project this year, for those who know about it, if you don't, please reach out to me, and if you want to take part of it, an unbelievable mitzvah to help get someone back on his feet, a good friend of ours, and we're able to do so by giving him a job, and through our support able to do so. That's this highest level of tzedakah. Please, if you have not taken part in that campaign, if you'd like to know more about it, please reach out to me, and I will gladly share the information with you. And if this is not a possibility, you don't have the ability to give someone a job or to give him a skill, a life skill that he can be able to stand on his own. Or if let's say the poor person is sick and he's not able to work, so then we have to worry, we have to look after his sustenance. And the greater level of decency and honor and respect and dignity that we give in the giving of tzedakah, that's the greater the level of tzedakah. And the more degrading, even though we're giving tzedakah, but if it's done in a degrading fashion, humiliates and denigrates a person, then this also decreases the level of your mitzvah. So in order to fulfill this mitzvah of tzedakah, for years, congregations and communities used to have a gabbai tzedakah, someone who would oversee the collecting and giving out of tzedakah. That they would collect money from those who were able to give. And they would see to it that the people in need would indeed receive the funds, and it would be done so in a dignified fashion. So here we are beginning this new topic, and it's wonderful to be back here learning with you. We'll, God willing, study as much as we can as we're heading through already at the summer months. It's hard to believe we're in Chodesh Iyar. We're already in the what we call the Yoms season. Yom HaZikaron. We just had Yom HaShoah last week, Yom HaAtzmaut, and then, of course, Yom Yerushalayim. But in any event, thank you so much for listening. Welcome back. Newsman has started. And again, please have in mind for Shalema ben Yamin ben Sila And we will see you all here next time, God willing. Have a wonderful day.